Hello, this is the Alien Wicked, and this is.
The Ducky Gwen.
Okay, thank you. We're talking about bullying. Bullying, not bowling. Bowling is fun. Bullying, we have to talk about because it's still a pain in the ass to most people.
That's exactly right. And it's still a pandemic, just like COVID was, but worse.
COVID you can get rid of, but bullying we need to really crack down on.
It's just about right.
Yep. So, I'll just see what bullying does. I do have my phone, but I will just bullying can tear someone's and there's different forms of bullying. There's cyberbullying, like texting and other bullshit, as well as
Yes.
there is the normal bullying, and you can look up different forms of bullying, but it's basically harassment, if you know what I mean, and it's
Yes, it
not very
is.
nice. They will find anything to pick on you for. Anything, the smallest thing. They can pick up your ancestry more than a DNA test and pin it on you and literally call you ethnic names. They can find out that you have a mental illness without being a psychiatrist just by your behavior, and they'll call you the R slur or spaz out or whatever else comes to their damn mind.
In other words, ableist slurs.
Huh?
Ableist slurs. You know, like what you
Yeah,
mentioned
those
earlier, the R
are.
word, spaz.
Yep, ableist is exactly it. Or they might pick on you for your. And I don't know how they would find out, but sometimes your political views, if you have
Oh,
anyone, a
yes.
kid.
Yes. Absolutely. Political views
Like,
applies to this too. I mean, we're seeing a lot
yeah,
of this from far leftists to anyone that's on the right wing spectrum. It's not just a right
yeah,
wing spectrum, but in the center as well. It's not even funny.
certainly.
We see this a lot
Uh,
online, especially after the 2016 American presidential election here
yeah,
in the United States. Thanks, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
yeah, I remember that. And I live in Canada.
I live in California, the most
Yep.
far leftist state in the world these days. Correction,
Oh
in the
man,
United States.
that's gotta suck. So they can bully you for your religion. Anything that is deemed different, that should be deemed more unique, they will literally peg it on you and call you these particular whatever names they come to mind.
Some of which we're not going to say on camera.
I don't want to say them on camera because they're stupid
Yes.
words. Yeah. And then there's the ethnic names, like racial words and stuff that makes me want to snap sometimes.
Or in some cases, puke.
Oh yeah, puke too. Yep, little barfy barf. So,
Right. Insert barf emoji
and
here.
the bullying, I will tell you what the bullying does. Okay, bullying. It used to be a lot more obvious. Bullying is when someone is picked on by a person or group. Bullies make fun of people who they think don't fit in. Like I said, the different versus unique. Bullies make fun of other for many different reasons, including appearance, how they look, behavior, or whatever the hell else.
Right.
Okay. And the bullying, race, religion, social status, which sexual identity.
Yes, that
Bullying
too.
can come in different types. Physical bullying, which is the getting beaten on, where they
Oh
target
yeah.
them physically. This can be shoving, tripping, pushing, hitting, or biting, or whatever. I don't think too much of biting.
Yes, but note
You never
to
know.
everyone watching this, it can happen.
And possible sexual assault.
Yes, definitely. Sexual assault for sure.
Yes, that was what my brother Brian did to me.
Oh,
And then there is verbal taunting and teasing of somebody.
those are the lesser forms of bullying, in my opinion. The taunting and teasing.
Yep.
Oddly
Oh,
enough, those are the only types of bullying besides the beating up you see on television. But what you don't see on television is a
is
lot worse.
the verbal stuff, the psychological bullying, which means gossiping and excluding people to make them feel bad about themselves. And you
Yeah,
know what
see that on TV too.
cyberbullying is, people.
Yes, and let me tell you all,
Cyberbullying,
it's real.
yes, it is when bullies use the internet or social media to say things they might not say in person. This includes sending
Mm-hmm.
mean texts, posting insults about other people on Twitter, or making rude comments on Facebook, Instagram, or cyberbullies might post personal intel or information, pictures, or videos designed to hurt or embarrass someone else. And
Or
I'll
the
tell you
more
what
extreme
the
case,
effect.
the more extreme case, what went down between Sniper Wolf and Jack's Films. Both are very popular YouTubers. You know,
Yep,
specifically Sniper Wolf, because she did not agree with what he had to say about her in his own videos. She basically went up to his house and
yep,
basically harassed him. But not too long before that, she made a post on Instagram, specifically on stories, saying that she lived 5 minutes away from him. I kid you not. That's literally what she said. It just comes to show that you have to be really careful about giving off where you live online, whether you give the
yeah, I don't
address or
do
not.
that. I
Yeah,
don't give off. I might give an approximate location, but not the exact location of my bedroom. You
right,
know what
because
I
that's
mean? So
dangerous.
people can't, because that can lead to a lot. What can the effects of bullying? Bullies often pick on people over and over again. This makes teens or kids feel afraid, stressed,
No duh.
depressed, anxious, have thoughts of suicide or hurting themselves, have trouble with their schoolwork, have problems with mood and energy things. I'll just tell you a little spoiler alert. I just got the mood part under control. Sleep and appetite and energy level. Okay, well, who are the assholes, the bullies? Okay, both guys and girls can be bullies. Bullies may be outgoing, aggressive. This kind of bully makes fun of you to your face and or physically hurt you. This quiet, sneaky. These are the manipulators, and they start
Yes.
spreading stupid rumors and just to see what happens. Friendly and fake. These are people who who pretend to be your friend, and then you
Yeah.
tell them things and they do stupid behind your back.
I will discuss my own personal example of this bullying behavior later on in this video, so stay tuned.
Bullyings are a lot like they like to be in control, so that Machiavellian. They are focused on themselves, so narcissism. They have poor social skills and have hard time getting along with other people. Well, obviously, so that they may not care about other people and lack empathy. So basically, a psychopath. And
Right.
then these insecure bullies make themselves feel better by making you feel like
Yes.
some bullies
100%.
don't. Some bullies, like psychopaths, don't understand normal social emotions like guilt, empathy, compassion, remorse. So we're talking about a psychopath. These
Case in
people,
point, I'll let you finish.
these people need help from mental health professional like a counselor, psychiatrist, or psychologist, or the BAU from the FBI if they get even worse.
Right.
What can you do if you are being bullied? There are many things you can do if you're being bullied that
Tell a trusted adult, for one.
yet tell a trusted adults in position of authority like parents, teachers, coaches often deal with bullying without the bully ever learning how they found out about it. It is vital to report the bullying if it threatens to lead to physical danger, stalking,
Yes.
making threats, physical attacks, and more serious when they are not reported. They give the bully a license to be more violent.
Wow.
Ignore the bully and walk away as well. That's for minimal bullying. And
Right.
bullies are just trying to get a rise out of you. So if you just walk away and ignore them, you're telling them that you also don't have empathy, compassion, remorse, and they think it's a fair fight. They can't win with that. Ignoring them. Walk tall and hold your head up high. Using this type of body language sends message that you're not vulnerable. Something I wish I knew when I was younger.
Same.
Do not, whatever the you do, excuse me, do not get physical. If you're more likely to get hurt or and get into trouble if you try to fight a bully back, work out your anger another way, such as exercising, writing it down, making sure you delete and tear it up, any emails or posts, and then, or trying to draw a picture, make music, whatever the hell else. Try to talk to the bully, that's something else. I didn't think of try to point out that their behavior is serious and harmful, that this can work well if you notice that a member of your own group has started to pick and shun another member. Practice
Yes.
confidence. Practice to be way to respond to the bully verbally through your behavior. Practice feeling good about yourself, even though you may have to fake it at first, or fake it until you make it. Talk about it. That's a big doo doo that I never did when I was younger.
Right.
Talk about it. It may help you talk to a guidance counselor, or friend, or teacher, or even a parent if you have the balls. I didn't.
Or if you don't have a supportive family to talk to, maybe talk to a principal or teacher. Or if you don't trust them, talk to the police. And then,
Yeah, anyone can give you the support you need. Who can give you the support you need? Talking can be good outlet for the fears and frustrations that can
yes.
build when you are being bullied. Find your true friends. This is something I'm still working on. If you've been bullied with rumors or gossip, tell your friends so that they can help you feel safe and secure. Avoid being alone, especially when the bullying happens a lot.
Yeah, but that's
Stand
especially
up.
hard for some kids
Yep,
or adults for that
stand
matter.
up for friends and others who are being bullied. That I do a good job of it. Your actions can help the victim feel supported and may stop the bullying. Join your school's bullying and violence prevention programs. Mediation is another way to help work things out with a idiot, as I call them,
Yes.
if because they are. If your school doesn't have these programs, start one of your own. What if you are the bully or a hole? Some people try to deal with their stress, anger, or frustration. These bullies might have been bullied and now want to show their power so they don't break the cycle.
Right. Kind
But
of
bullying
similar
behavior,
kind of similar
but
to
bullying,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
yeah, but bullying behavior backfires and makes everyone feel miserable, even the bullies. People might feel intimidated by the bullies, but they don't respect them. Would you, if you rather see people see your strength and character, look and even look up to you as a leader, find a way to use your power to do positive instead of putting others down. If you have bullied someone, try talking to a trusted adult why you have become a bully. Ask
Yes.
them some advice so you can change. Try thinking how the other person might be feeling, imagine how you would feel if you were the target.
Wow.
Even though people are different, it's important to treat everybody with respect. And I
Yes,
mean that.
absolutely.
And also, you might not know this, but bullying can cause PTSD in real bad situations or even death. Have you watched that video that I?
Yes, the video in question is about the murder of Shanda Sharer, age 12
Yep.
years old, by four teenagers of high school age by the names of Melinda Loveless, Hope Rippey, Tony Lawrence, and Lori Tackett.
Yep.
So,
That's the one I watched yesterday. And this is where when bullying really goes to horse crap
yes,
is that when you have this real big hatred, not just anger, but hatred towards someone who's completely innocent and had done nothing wrong to you, and you end up wailing on them until they're lifeless, in this case, torturing them. It's kind of sad to be honest with you.
it is, especially since this girl was a 12-year-old girl who once dated a girl named Amanda who happened to be the girlfriend of one of the murderers, Melinda
Yeah,
Loveless. And Melinda Loveless got really jealous of her and plotted to kill her as a result. It was, needless to say, the most unsettling case of bullying I've ever seen. What's even more unsettling is the fact that Shonda was too young to be dating either of those girls to begin with. So, this in turn not only makes it a bullying event, but also makes it a grooming event as well.
I've
For
even
real.
heard, yes, that's true. There have been other stories like that if you ever look hard enough. And that would not be called homicide, it would be called bullycide. Whether it be if you kill yourself or they kill you, because it's still bullying.
Right. Bully side. I
And
forgot
I'll look that
about that
up.
term. Yeah, bully side. Basically, a murder involving bullying.
Yeah, let's see, bullycide.
Yeah.
Legal and out. Okay, bullying. and suicide, but can also lead to homicide. Bullying and suicide are
Yes,
considered
suicide.
together when the case of suicide is attributed to the victim being bullied,
Oh, yes. So
or
that
if the
it also pertains to suicide.
either in person or via social media. Writers Neil Marr and Tim Field wrote about this called a book called Bully Side of Death at Playtime. And that's basically it. Most commonly called bully side is defined by death of suicide with cause. Oh, I can't spell it. Coercive for factor. Now let's look at the different. We already mentioned that it is when you try to kill yourself as a result of other people's crap.
Yes.
Being the word of the day basically be okay. Origin, bully and suicide. I'm trying to find that son of a bugger.
Bullicide.
Yeah, bully side. I'm trying to find a good.
If anyone wants more information on the video about Shanda Sharer, link will be in the description below. It's from a YouTube channel called Law and Crime Network, and the video is hosted by a woman by the name of Anna Elise.
Yep. And here's the bully side statistics.
Okay.
Uh, okay, what is okay? We're going to see what there's bullying prevention. I'm just trying to find bullying stories. Here's some good ones. Bullying stories. Reason There are many reasons why teens or other kids choose to bully each other and turn on other teens to help them feel better for themselves, like other teens, and respect want power and respect. That's not how you get it, so they become a bully. Some teens, even who bully, simply ignorant and closed-minded, which is true. Also, these are very unfortunate situations that needed to be stopped before more tragic things like bullycide or homicide can and other emotional devastating effects can occur. Teens who are often bullied for a bunch of reasons could be gender, sexual preference, religious affiliation, social, economic background, and other stuff like background, intelligence, disabilities, talents, interests. I've had all that, been around that block with that. Many teens can be
Yes.
so
So
mean
am
to
I.
each other for no bleeping reason.
Yes. Absolutely. You know, because they feel like it, in other words.
Yeah, or they to bullying can be so devastating. It is important for parents to watch the signs that the teen may be bullied. Let's see if we can find the signs.
Okay.
Okay, schools are taking active stand. Yeah, I'm going to see the signs of dealing with bullying. Tips to deal with bullying, we mentioned. Signs of bullying. Bullying. Okay, warning signs of bullying. Okay, let's see what this has to say. Unexplainable injuries. I've had that. Lost or destroyed clothing, books, electronics, or jewelry. Frequent headaches, stomach aches, feeling or faking an illness, as well as
Yes.
change in eating habit. Like
Yes.
so, that's pretty interesting. Not in a good way. Changes in eating habits may skip meals, binge eat. Kids come home from school because they don't eat lunch. Difficulty sleeping or frequent nightmares. So that goes to the
Yes.
PTSD thing. Declining grades, loss of interest in wanting to not wanting to go to school, sudden loss of friends, avoidance of social situations, feels of helplessness,
Yes.
decreased self-esteem, self-destructive behavior such as running away from home, harming themselves, or even thinking about suicide.
Yes. Absolutely right.
Signs of a child being bullied is they get into verbal or physical fights.
Like you did.
They, hmm?
You mentioned something about getting into physical fights in the past. Am I right?
Yeah, and also have friends who bully others,
Oh, man.
increasing.
Whew.
These are the signs of a kid screwing over another kid, getting sent to the principal office or to detention frequently, or have unexplained extra money or new belongings, blame others for their problems, don't accept responsibility for their actions, competitive, and worry about their reputation and property. And we already talked about how why don't kids get help? Why don't they get help?
Because they don't
Bullying,
have a sufficient support system. That's why.
yes, bullying can make a child feel helpless. Kids may want to handle it on their own and feel in control again. They may also fear being seen as weak or a tattletale. Kids may fear backlash from the kid who bullies them. Bullying can be a humiliating experience, and they do not want to know that whether it's true or false. They may also fear that adults might judge them or punish them for being weak. Kids who are bullied feel socially outcast, uh,
Yes.
isolated, and outcasted. They feel like no one cares about them or understand. Kids may fear being rejected by their peers.
Yes.
Friends can help protect kids from bullying. Kids can fear loss of their support.
Yes.
Uh, And this kind of crap still happens to adults.
Yes. An example of this happening to adults is workplace bullying. You've been buried
Workplace,
in a, yes, workplace bullying.
never heard of that.
So here's an example of workplace bullying for those that don't know. Workplace bullying is obviously like what we discussed earlier, except it occurs in a workplace.
Yeah,
Anyway, so I'm gonna tell you a story about my own experience with workplace bullying. And this is that exact example that was discussed early on in the video when Wicked was talking about the forms of bullying, one of which, of course, was backstabbing, which I will get to now. All right, so this particular example of workplace bullying takes place in an Amazon fulfillment center back in 2021. This was a year into the pandemic. Everything started off really good when I started working for Amazon. But then over time, as with many jobs, things tend to get very stressful. In my case, there were many events leading up to the main one I'll mention in a moment. But before I do, note that these mini events, while they did play a role in the situation to follow, they are not as important as what I'm about to discuss. The main one in question was when my then manager, who was my third manager overall and the second one I had in the pack department of my building thus far, had me reported to HR via his supervisor because of something I did that made him quote unquote uncomfortable. While I will not go into specifics on what that was, it involved what constituted as a safety violation known as horseplay, as if I knew that was horseplay to begin with, but I digress. Keep in mind, I was not trying to harm anyone in any way, nor did I intend to for that matter, but considering how he handled it, it left me under the impression that it pertained to something that's beyond my control. For full disclosure, I'm diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum disorder, so you can imagine how that became a factor in the situation. For the most part, that is. Needless to say, I was under investigation for 2 weeks, and then one day, while I was at my station, I got a message on my screen while I was working on a package saying to go to the office. And I went to the office, and my then brand new manager and a member of HR sits me down to read me what would be my exit letter, saying that I was fired. As if the 2 weeks of being under emotional distress from what that a-hole did to me, instead of just being direct with me on what the violation was that made him quote unquote uncomfortable, was not enough to send me into a tailspin. Yeah, uncomfortable? More like he was threatened by me this whole time due to the lead up to the events in which I happened to have my ASD symptoms on display under the intense stress that finally got to me. I would not be the only one with issues with that a-hole manager per se, but those issues are completely unrelated to my story and are thus not my story to tell. But yeah, that concludes my personal example of workplace bullying. As a PS, I had another violation on that accord, and that violation was broken equipment. It pertained to what I discussed earlier. Also, the fact that I had a major speech impediment on top of my ASD did not help matters at all. Why do I bring this up, you ask? It's because that led to me having trouble trying to explain the situation to that a-hole manager pertaining to the violation I discussed early on. That ultimately backfired on me. But yeah, let's continue on with the video.
Then I have included a story about how I was bullied through a voice message she has, which was not workplace bullying, it was just plain schoolyard bullying. But, anyways, I remember that I gave Gwen here countless different voice memos to say that this is what had happened to me
That's right.
and my human rights as well because I was had them violated.
Yes, it was definitely a human rights violation for sure. You know, what you described.
Yep.
And now, without further ado, here are the voice clips in question.
So I was in a Catholic school when I was younger. Particularly grade 8 was pretty hard for me. Not very many people were interested in forensic science or true crime or the FBI. They thought that stuff was stupid. But what they were really trying to do was being racist and stuff, which was kind of silly. We all know what racism can do, but when a kid goes after another kid because of it, it's kind of sad to tell you the truth. When I was bullied to the point where I was accused of many things. I was accused of being an R word, the R slur.
as well as I was accused of being a spaz out, or the S slur as you'd want to call it, spaz out because I had PTSD, the R word because I had Asperger's. One, really, I do have an IQ of 196. I wanted so bad to be an FBI agent when I was a young kid, not to get rid of the bullies, but just to help make the world a better place. I am a starseed and an indigo, but no one sees that very much these days, or they don't really care. And they don't really care about what your ethnic background, what your orientation, or otherwise your whatever is. They just want to pick on you for some reason, period. That being said, it was very sad enough that I had to deal with this. Some of the war zone stories, I should say war stories, I should say, is that I was beaten up, got into fights, usually won most of the fights, but there was a couple that I didn't. Also, I was called the R word, R slur, as well as spaz out because of my PTSD. I was also called ethnic names because of my ethnicities. Let's just say kids can pick up on this stuff more than a DNA test. And then one time I was accused of wanting to commit suicide and trying to starve myself. This kind of thing was not right. My parents got wind of this, and they only got wind of the bully's idea, which was that I was trying to kill myself or trying to starve myself when really I was not. When I got through to grade 8, I felt like a hardened criminal, and I was starting to pick fights when I was in the early stages of high school. I didn't think anyone understood me. I felt like ending my life for real this time. By the time I was 17, I had to go on antidepressants, antipsychotics, and other stuff. Period. Also, I had to go on other things like mood stabilizers and stuff. It was pretty sad, to be honest with you. I do have PTSD from being born in a war zone, but I also have a complex PTSD from being bullied in that Catholic school. A name I will call Holy Name of Mary, which was the actual name of the school. Also, I was in Notre Dame Catholic High School, which was a little bit more of a cakewalk when I got used to the people being around me. So that is my story with bullying. It was pretty horrific, and I remember a lot of human rights were violated, particularly my human rights. I was threatened with prison for no apparent reason, particularly Guantanamo Bay. Before I ended up graduating into high school, I could have been expelled for no apparent reason, as well as other horrific things. Case in point, bullying is not good for anyone, whether you're the victim like me who was bullied, who has to fight every day and school turns into a prison itself, or that you end up being the bully because you can't feel good about yourself. You have to feel crappy about everything and make other people feel like bleep.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna actually do a voice recording of my own pertaining to my own schoolyard bullying. Spoiler
Okay.
alert, it
Good.
was mainly the teachers that did this, and special ed teachers at it
That
too.
too. I
Uh,
had that too.
Special ed teachers too?
Everybody and their dog.
Wow. Oh my goodness, that is insane. That is really insane. It's like,
Yeah, that was disgusting.
yeah. Okay, here is the story in question. I was in second grade and I was in a special day class in one of the 3 to 4 elementary schools that I attended throughout my school career. The teachers in question were evil middle-aged versions of the Powerpuff Girls. That's how bad they were. I will give you a couple of examples. During one instance, I was in line. I believe I was going to lunch with the rest of my class or whatever, and I exhibited a case of echolalia where I repeated a certain phrase over and over again, and the teacher, that is Evil Bubbles, comes up to me, puts her hand tightly on my chin, and yells at me to basically stop repeating myself. I do not remember what her exact words were, as it has literally been 2 decades, obviously. But I believe I still did get to go to lunch or whatever. And another instance involving Evil Bubbles was when I colored in a certain spot she didn't like during a coloring assignment, and she basically manipulated a teacher that ran a class that was literally right across from us. The bathroom was what separated us, anyway. She basically repeats to the teacher that I didn't color in a certain spot she wanted. And when I tried to go over there that one time to escape from what Evil Bubbles and the other 2 evil teachers did to me, she basically told me I couldn't be in that class anymore, all because I colored in a certain spot she didn't want me to color in. The last example I will give is when Evil Bubbles prevented me from finishing my breakfast, which consisted of cereal and orange juice, because at that particular point, for some odd reason, we no longer were allowed to eat in the cafeteria. Basically, Evil Bubbles, no, Evil Buttercup's reasoning was that I didn't finish a certain part of an assignment. That's all the personal examples of schoolyard bullying that I have for today. There were a bit more than that, and from the other school that I went to after this particular one, but I'm not going to get into that one. Anyways, continuing on. Oddly enough, the next example of schoolyard bullying also happened to have included a special ed teacher as one of the persecutors. Here we go. There's one thing I forgot to mention earlier on in the conversation, but bullying can also cause a student to drop out even early on into their school career. For example, there was a friend of mine who was bullied so bad that she had to be pulled out of school just before middle school. It was that bad, really.
Was she homeschooled or did they just cut all ties?
She was homeschooled.
Okay. That was
And considering that it's not my story to tell, I'm not going to go into any of the details.
okay.
Yeah. But just know that bullying can have an effect where you could drop out at any time for safety reasons.
Yep,
So,
that's true. I almost had a few dropouts of my own.
oh, wow.
Almost. I'm too tough to deal with their bull.
Yes, exactly.
I think we're going to end this here now. If you like our content, subscribe, hit the like button and the bell button. We will see you on Saturday if accomable.
Yes, absolutely. Watch us. Mark it on your calendars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ta-ta for now.
Ta-ta for now, folks, and stay safe out there.
Yep. Stay safe and accept each other as is.
Absolutely. You are who you are. Embrace
Yep.
it.
So, and own it.
Yes, own it. In the words of
Yep.
Alessia Cara, you are beautiful just the way you are. And you don't have to change a thing, the world can change its heart. From scars to we're beautiful.